Alongside hockey analysts Kevin Weeks and Mike Johnson, TSN's list of the top 25 NHL players this season is now out. And warning, we may ruffle some feathers. A reminder, this list is only evaluating this season. Guys, we've been doing these lists for years. Connor McDavid has been #1 on all of these lists for the last 7 years, but not this time. You both voted for Nathan MacKinnon at #1 instead, and he ultimately did grab top spot. MJ, how did he bump McDavid?
Gino, you make it sound shocking, but it isn't. Not when you watch the game so far this season. Nathan MacKinnon has been the best player in the NHL. He's got more goals, he's got more points, more even strength points. You name it, he has been better. You want to talk about consistency? Think about that home point streak that he's been rolling off. You think about the way he plays, so physical, so emotional, so intense, game after game after game, leading his team to a better record than Kucherov's or McDavid's or anyone else who wanted to challenge him for that #1 spot. Weeksy, to me, it's been pretty clear the way he has played this year that he has been the best player in the NHL through the first half of the season.
Absolutely. He impacts the game in each and every facet. There's not one facet of the game that he doesn't touch. So being physical, being intense, rallying his team, making plays, scoring goals, he does all that on the ice. For me, selfishly speaking, I love watching him play in all the different arenas and Ball Arena in Denver, but I'd love to see him run into Queen's Plate or see him run in the Kentucky Derby. Why? He's a thoroughbred. Nobody gallops like him on the ice.
An extremely close battle for #2 on the list. Connor McDavid just edged out Nikita Kucherov in our poll for second best player this season. So, Weeksy, tell me you have McDavid at #2.
Gene, is that you? Gene? Oh, no. Okay, that's the family, friends, and the hockey fans up in Alberta. I can hear them in my ear. Apologies in advance, but you'll understand why I didn't have McDavid at #2. Guess what? The Oilers on this 16-game win streak are deeper. There are more players that have stepped up to the table. They've elevated him. They're helping him. It doesn't matter if he's #2. You know why? They're accustomed to seeing the Stanley Cup in the City of Champions, but it's been since 1990. So to have him at #2, Johnny, if that means that they make a deep run and ultimately get the Stanley Cup in Alberta, that's what they're playing for in the first place.
All right, well, I had him at #2 because he still belongs at #2. I think it's McDavid or Kucherov. I had McDavid over Kucherov. You got to remember, McDavid's played 6 fewer games than Kucherov. So some of those point totals, that differential, really a bit tighter than the actual numbers would have you believe. And would you believe this, Weeksy? I went to some of the underlying numbers. The defensive game for Connor McDavid, his play away from the puck has been much better, vastly superior than Nikita Kucherov. Kucherov's been better in the power play. Kucherov was better in the first quarter of the season. McDavid and the Oilers much better in the second quarter. And I think that with his play, 200-foot play, his 5-on-5 play, and the way that he's led that team to an incredible second quarter, I have him narrowly in second place behind Nathan MacKinnon.
Narrowly in second place. All right, guys, Quinn Hughes has been a star on the league's best team. He comes in ranked #6, just behind Cale Makar. What do you think, MJ? Should Hughes be higher?
Yes, he should be higher. And I don't know goalies, forwards, defensemen, but I'll tell you this, he should be ahead of Makar. Quinn Hughes has been so far the best defenseman in the NHL. That much is sure. Again, you look at these two players, they're very, very similar. The numbers are close. Defensively, Makar might be a little bit better this year at 5-on-5, but offensively, it really isn't a contest. The way that Quinn Hughes has driven play for the Vancouver Canucks whenever he's on the ice, the shots, the chances, the goals, the expected goals, he is way higher than Cale Makar. So I think that offensive thrust this year for Quinn Hughes has him, I don't know whatever number he is, but I know it's a lower number than Cale Makar, Weeksy.
Yeah, I would give him a tick above him, and for right now, I have him as the Norris Trophy winner in Quinn Hughes. Now, let me qualify this now. When you're Cale Makar and his teammates call him Bobby, and he's done a lot of Bobby Orr level stuff to this point, I can understand why reputationally he gets the edge. But to your point, for this season, Quinn Hughes decisively has been a tick, if not 2 ticks, above Cale Makar. I said this here in Jersey. Jack Hughes, when he's healthy, he goes to bed, he wakes up, he gets 3 points in an NHL game. Well, guess what? Quinn Hughes does the exact same thing. We see Quinn Hughes doing that as a D out there in beautiful Vancouver. So I agree, he should be higher on this list.
You guys are on fire. Weeksy, MJ, you'll be back tomorrow for a deeper dive into some of the other names on our list. For the entire list of the top 25 players this season, check out tsn.ca.